Hello and welcome. Today we've got Chae and we are going to be discussing the war on journalism. Now, just before we begin, you can subscribe to our Telegram channels and to nickveniamin.com for our free email updates. And if you're watching this for the first time on YouTube, I will leave the link below in the description for the full interview. Mel, thank you for joining me. How are you and what have you been up to?
I'm very good, but I want people to know the Chae Show Telegram is not mine. So don't subscribe there. I'm only on the Chae Show group, but I am doing awesome, and I am still fighting the good fight. I'm not discouraged at all. I feel like I still feel fully that God won this battle, and that it's up to we, the humans of this planet, to finish the war. And I see a lot of good things happening. I just came from the conference, Reawakening Tour conference with General Flynn in Dallas. It was packed. People were pumped. People are awake. They know, now that we're at a place where people know who the puppet masters are, can call them out, see the World Economic Forum, see the UN for what it is, know full well that a fraudulent regime was installed in DC that is wreaking havoc worldwide. People are fired up, and it's great to see. And for your audience, if they don't have access to it, on the Chae Show Rumble, we have the entire 3 days. And you can watch day 1, day 2, day 3. There's great speeches by Eric Trump, Peter Navarro, Patrick Byrne, tons of people that everyone loves, all the doctors, McCullough, Northurup, artists, Karen Kingston, tons of great info. And, it's a great watch. So if you go over to my Rumble channel, you can see the whole event. And also, if you are interested in going, we've just added 6 more events. We're going to do one a month. So we have a January in Arizona, a bunch of other events. At themelchaeshow.com, if you go under events, you will see all the upcoming events, and it's really worth going. And I highly encourage everyone around the world to start their own groups, show up around like-minded people, and get together, because we're the majority. And this is a war between good and evil, freedom and slavery. And the elites, these self-imposed oligarchies and technocrats that have wreaked such havoc on planet Earth against the people of God and our freedom. So I just really want everyone to get out there, get involved, and meet like-minded people. It makes a big difference. And please check out the events list on my website, because if you can make it to one, it really changes everything. It really does.
Absolutely. So let's talk more on what's happening with journalism and how they are trying to, completely silence real journalism, because everything's been paid for. It's all propaganda, by the Biden administration and the radical left. Where do we begin?
Well, first of all, it's even bigger than the Biden administration, because the Biden administration is not in control. What people have to understand is on November 3rd, our country was infiltrated, and the real insurrection happened then. And the regime that is installed in there is loyal to the one world government, Rockefeller movement, Soros clan. As we know, Bill Gates and the Gates Foundation and George Soros and others have dumped tons of money into the media. And I call it the media very loosely. It's now a propaganda machine. We saw in America just last week, the Biden regime and this Jen Psaki, who I have never seen. I don't know how this woman sleeps at night with the amount of manipulating and gaslighting she throws out there with her minions in DC or wherever they are. But she had called all the usual suspects, the CNN, MSNBC, New York Times, Reuters, everyone that's in the can for the globalists and the one world government overthrow of all of our countries, showed up at the White House to coordinate the new propaganda campaign, because the one that they're doing isn't doing so great. And that's because people in real life, people that haven't been awake and haven't been already furious with the overthrow and infiltration of America, are seeing the numbers. Our pricing on everything is going up sky high. They ended our oil and gas industry, basically. Food is going up. The controlled demolition of American democracy in terms of the economy, the shortages, all of that. It's all by design. It's all on purpose. Everyone is warning about the stock market and inflation, and they're printing money left and right. A welfare state. So over 100 million Americans right now, for some reason, have no job. And this is communism 101. Anyone that's watching that has come from communism or knows anything about how it happens, When the people are fully dependent on the government, you have no freedom, and that's the goal here, and that's where we are. And what happened also this week that people really need to pay attention to is this democracy summit, this joke democracy summit that Blinken and Biden and I guess Susan Rice and all these other people that were installed in DC put together. First of all, it was a slap in the face to many countries left out. They left out Hungary and Turkey, and of course, they left out China and Russia. But if you look at the democracy summit that they just had, it's basically everyone that's for the Great Reset, the complete and total ceding of all of our sovereignty to an oligarchy, monarchy type one world government that has been devised by Rockefeller and the UN for 50 years, which was supposed to come into fruition easily under Hillary, but then Trump won, and now they're in full speed. But that was actually an event where if anyone looks at what went on there, you can see who are the free nations that don't agree with the Great Reset and who is on their team. And what happened there in the meantime, so Blinken and Biden, they put out a $250 million international fund for journalists to protect journalists and independent investigators worldwide with government money from U.S. aid and other sources, of course, U.S. taxpayer dollars. But this is in your country, too. So they're saying international journalists. You know, of course, they always throw in for the women and the minorities and the LGBTQ, like that should matter. Journalism should be finding the truth and telling the truth to the people that the government and other corrupt individuals are not. Mm-hmm. But anyway, once controlled by the government and financed by the government, just like once controlled by Bill Gates and George Soros, nothing real is coming out unless Soros, Gates, or now the Biden administration approve it. But again, Nick, this is on the next level because we saw Klaus Schwab, the ultimate puppet master face man out there in the World Economic Forum in Davos, saying that after the Great Reset, now they have the Great Narrative. Well, within a week of the Great Narrative, we have the summit at the White House for them to adjust the propaganda behind closed doors against we the people of America and the world. And then we have them at this democracy summit saying that they're going to give money to independent journalists that they choose, mind you. At the same time, a bunch of journalists have gotten letters from the Treasury Department saying that if they publish work on certain websites that the government deems misinformation, that they'll be fined up to $700,000. And then right after that, if it couldn't get worse, this is a war on the truth. It's a war on journalism, the real journalism. If this couldn't get bad enough, during their democracy summit and on UN's Day of Human Rights, the highest judge in the UK okayed extradition for Julian Assange, an incredible journalist who did not commit espionage or anything that they're accusing them of, to be extradited to America because Obama and Clinton and Biden have a vendetta against Julian Assange. But this is the biggest. Any journalist in the world, and our mainstream media isn't even covering the Assange case, should be outraged. Julian Assange is a true hero. He knows where the bodies are buried on the DNC. He never, ever hacked anything. That is a lie. There's no espionage. What happened was he's a journalist. And like you, somebody came to him and said, here are documents that prove that the U.S. government did X in Iraq. As a journalist who's serving the people, which is what journalism is supposed to be, he put that out there. And you know what? It really did. It was the right thing to do for him and as a journalist. Then he got all the downloads from the DNC when they were knocking out Bernie Sanders and forcing in Hillary as the candidate because she was involved in the 16-year plan, the Rockefeller full destruction, ceding the sovereignty of America to their one world government. Next thing you know, he puts that out, the emails, which the Podesta emails, if people have not read them, are horrifying. They show a lot of criminal activity, including crimes against children. And so he did that. And then, as we know, he knows about Hillary's server, Hillary's emails, the connection to the CCP, all of that. And they are making an example of Julian Assange. And they're actually going to extradite him to America under phony, bogus charges. He committed zero espionage. He never hacked, broke into anything. The one witness they had, the two women that accused him of anything, the charges were dropped. The one witness that we know now is and God definitely does win. So thanks so much, Nick.
Thank you. God wins. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.